In this tutorial, I'll be addressing top 3 key mistakes that creators used to make, preventing their channel from growing. In fact, there are some mistakes a lot of people make, especially as a YouTube creator, which they cannot recognize the existence of these mistakes and ending up making their channel not to grow, to reach that growth audience which they really want. I'll be addressing this key issue, and most often we talked about this type of key topics. So if you're interested to grow your YouTube channel and to reach targeted audience based on your niche, to learn specific tips and tricks to reach more people, then you want to make sure to go ahead to subscribe to this channel, for we share top tutorials and tips, tricks to help you and enable you to reach that huge targeted audience which you have really been looking for. So you want to make sure that you go ahead to subscribe to this channel, like and share this video to reach other people who could benefit from it. So without wasting time, I'll be addressing the first on this list, which is the idea of quitting before time. Most YouTubers expect fast growth, and because of this, they quit before time. In fact, the YouTube algorithm, first of all, need to understand your channel by making sure that it incorporates much of the video which you have published to understand the niche around which you are talking about, so that they can push this content to people of this niche content. In fact, you need to understand that YouTube algorithm, as in total, based on what we have gathered, requires at least between 30 to 100 video to start giving you that push. If you have not reached to that area, you can quit without you reaching that expectation. In fact, it is not a good idea to treat YouTube as a lottery. It is instead better to treat it as a skill. So there are 3 key points I would like you to take note of for this particular idea. There are 3 key points I would like you to keep in mind. The first key point I would like you to understand is the fact that growth is a delayed feedback. In other words, for you not seeing the result right now as the huge growth you're expecting does not mean it's a failure. In fact, that delay is the time the algorithm really needs to process the video you have created to really understand your targeted niche audience, so that they can start pushing your video to the right people. So when you have delay, it is not meaning that, of course, your channel is not going to grow. Give it time and keep publishing. And as data are being processed by the YouTube algorithm, they will tend to understand what you are actually talking about, the niche topic, so that they can get to the right people. In other words, delay is the result of the feedback which is coming to be. The second point I would like you to take note of is the fact that most YouTube channels start to experience good growth or rapid growth after between 30 to 100 video. So if you have not yet published between this range of greater than 30 to 100, then it is not time for you to give up. Don't say that you are expecting fast growth, and because you are not seeing the expectation of the fast growth you want, and you start to quit. It is not a good idea. Give it time by trying to see how you can publish between 30 to 100 video on your channel. This time, the algorithm will have that opportunity to gather enough data to process and start pushing your video to the right audience. So give it time, at least between 30 to 100 video. And the third key point, this third key point goes especially to people who have just started YouTube. In fact, there are a lot of YouTubers that are joining the platform just recently, and they have started posting. They have posted maybe 10 video, 20, 30, and they are seeing no result of growth. They tend to quit. I want to remind you that the fact that you are not seeing growth at the moment does not mean it's a failure. In fact, it is the processing time of the algorithm itself that is taking that time to process what you have, so that it can push your video to the right audience. So this is the first key thing I want to address, so that you really understand this particular idea. Now I will address the second point. The second mistake that a lot of YouTubers make or creators make is comparing their channel with already big creator. In fact, the big creator already have audience. So whenever they publish a new video, it is very easy for the video to reach a lot of views. And you can see that maybe for big creators, when they publish a video in about an hour time or 20 hours period, you start to see huge engagement. And now because you are just new at YouTubing, or maybe you have not yet gathered or built up that kind of audience, you expect for you to also have that kind of growth when you publish a new video. In fact, comparing your channel with big YouTubers is a big mistake to make, because of course this is going to make you to quit before time. So what I want you to instead do is to make sure that you compare your most recent upload to the last 10 upload you have just made. Compare the most recent video you made to the last which you made to see the improvement, rather than comparing your channel or your video with big creators who already have trust and the audience. Comparison is not a good idea. And because you are still a new creator who have not yet reached a lot of audience, you need time to build your own audience and trust. And once you have succeeded in building that audience and trust, then of course you are also going to reach more people, for which if you publish a new video, you'll be able to reach huge amount of audience, and that time your channel would have already also built momentum, so that anytime you create a new video, it is easy for you to reach a lot of people as compared to other big creators. So note that it takes time and you need to build it from scratch. The third key point I would like to address. The next key point is the fact that most creators, instead of them to build value, they instead tend to build validation. In fact, a lot of creators think that making a lot of video per week is the better solution. It is better for you to take time to create 2 best videos to publish in a week, rather than creating 10 that has no value. Value, when I talk about value, we talk about the time you have taken to build it, giving example and putting time to create it to satisfy the viewers, so that when a viewer watch it and saw that there is value embedded within the video, the viewer that have watched your video for the first time will subscribe and will keep coming. But if you create videos that has no value and you just keep publishing because you just want much of the video to be found on your channel, note that when viewers come to watch and find that there are not value embedded within the video, when they watch the first time, they will not come again. So you need to take the time to create videos that has high value, so that once people watch your video for the first time, it gives them that build up to always keep coming back, and they can share your video and even recommend to people who are of the same niche or who want to watch same kind of video. And by doing so, putting value inside or within your video will reach more people, especially people that watch for the first time. Who knows? You can reach an audience or a viewer who watch your video and find value in it and tend to share it on other platforms. And by doing so, engagement start to compile. And by doing so, you start to build your own circle of people who would like to be watching your video anytime you create posts. So it is very important to make sure that you create value instead of validation. So in this regard, these are some of the top 3 mistakes that YouTube creator made, which is hurting their channel and preventing it from growing. If you can solve and fix this issue, then of course, remember that time is needed. You need time, and you need to put more video on your channel that has value, so that the algorithm will take time to process your video to understand it, give it time, and see how they can start to reach now to push your video to the right audience. So the key takeaway point here is making sure you give enough time for the YouTube algorithm to process your data and start to know where and the niche audience to share your content to. So don't quit, keep pushing, and you reach to that point. See you again in the next upload, and bye-bye for now.